Let's just sit down together and have a conversation. A conversation about how you can use the next few months left of this year to make 10k a month online. And maybe you don't even want that. Maybe you're just wanting to make 3k, 4k, 5 or 6k a month just to prove to yourself that it works and that there's potential in this and that you don't need to trade your time for money anymore and that there's more than 9 to 5. Now, if you don't make 10k a month this year, it's not because your market's too saturated. It's not because you don't have the right niche or the perfect offer. It's because you're not actually going to lock in. And it's the work ethic that actually separates people who make real money online and those who just dream about it. So the first thing is you need to work like an immigrant. Let me explain. I went to fill my car up with fuel the other day, right? And I greeted this cashier, an Indian student, right, who was working part-time. And I asked him who he was and what he did, right, and how he was that day. And he responded with, he's just 50-50, but I wasn't going to let him get away with that, right? So I asked him why, and he told me that he was tired. He'd been to uni for 9 hours that day and then worked for 8 hours. That's 17 hours a day without factoring in his commute. Now imagine you put that same kind of work ethic in and the same drive into a business. How long would it take you to make a full-time income online? That's what it takes. Now I built a business from my phone with zero audience, no ads, just content and a system that worked for me. Now I'm going to give that whole system away today. How you can build a brand, what you should sell, how you should sell it, how you should package it, and how to actually stick at it long enough for it to work. And you need to realize that you're an expert. You have knowledge that other peoples will pay for. People who have problems that are waiting for someone to help them solve. And they're out there right now just waiting to find you and get your help and pay you. And you need to make content around that solution. And then they can pay you and you can charge for that help. And that's meaningful work. But the math no one shows you behind this, the 10k a month, is that, well, let's kill the fantasy first, right? 10k a month doesn't come from like viral videos. It comes from math that you can actually control. So here's a real equation behind it. So it's the size of your audience multiplied by content consistency, multiplied by your offer clarity, multiplied by your price, and that equals your income. Now you don't need 1 million followers for this. All you need is maybe a couple of hundreds or even just 1,000 real followers, people who trust you, and you have one clear thing to sell those people. So let's break it down, right? If you had just 100 people paying you £30 or $30 a month in a community setting, that's 3k a month. Now 10 people paying you $500 for a coaching program is $5,000. Now if you combine these two together, you're already past 8k a month. And that's before you've sold a single high ticket spot. Now what high ticket basically means, if you don't know, it's charging between 1 to 5k for a program, which is doable too, if you don't believe that, right? And it's likely one of the things that you'd come onto quite soon after starting a coaching program. Now, this is the real business behind what real creators are doing to make 6 figures a month online, right? And it's not just one product, it's a low ticket offer stacked with a high ticket offer that's both fed by the same content. So most people never get there because they quit before the audience is big enough, right? They don't get to that point before they can run this math. And that's the whole game, right? It's not talent, it's not luck, it's just consistency, staying consistent long enough for this math to actually work. So let's talk about the content system, because people don't know what to post or how often to post. So I'll tell you that now so you're not guessing. So you need to post daily. You should know that. There's no exceptions to the first 90 days. And if you can't commit to that, then don't expect the income with it either. That's the trade. And there's different types of content you should make on rotation. First is proof. So proof content, your actual numbers, the screenshots, what worked for you, what didn't work, what flopped. And that builds trust faster because people are exhausted by these fake gurus online. You need to show your receipts. Then the system, so you teach one specific tactic in every video, right? Something specific, what worked for you specifically, right? And something that's actionable and shareable. So people can actually act on the videos that you give, right? Act on the value, get proper value from it, and then share it to other people. And then discipline and mindset sort of content. So the unglamorous side of it all. So showing the waking up early and showing up when nobody's watching and, saying why most people quit at a certain point. That's what makes people follow you and trust you, not just someone that they're going to consume tips from. And then the story content. This again is making you more relatable. So how you actually started, the failures, the moment it all clicked for you. Maybe post this like once a week or something like that, not like every day, right? But it should live at the top of your feed or your top of your profile or channel, so people can just relate to you immediately and, build trust. Now, in terms of how to make the content, you don't want to overly script it, right? What I would script though is the first 30 seconds, so the hook, right? And then the last part, the close of the video where you're giving your call to action, where you're giving them something to do. So, and typically you might make videos like this when you're starting off, just giving value. So these talking head videos. So one idea per video, right? So if you're explaining more than one content, you could even split that into 2 separate videos. So again, script the hook, script the close, let the middle be natural. Over scripting will kill the delivery, will kill the natural tone and the value, your own personality that you can provide, right? And again, just focus on building trust, not just trying to sell your program or sell your course. But what do you actually sell after you make this content? This is where most people get it wrong, right? They build their audience, but then they don't know what to sell them or how to sell them, or they sell them too early. Or they might even sell them something too complicated, something they don't understand. It's not clear enough. So here's an offer ladder that actually works on any niche. So tier 1, a low ticket community. So it's $20 to $50 a month. And this could be a base income. It doesn't need to be complicated at all. Just a group chat or just weekly calls, templates, accountability, right? Somewhere where they can get some sort of access to you. But the goal isn't to over deliver on content. It's to over deliver a little bit on access of you, right? And having a community of people that are like-minded and doing the same thing and have the same goals. And tier 2 would be the group coaching, maybe $300 to $500 a month or something like that, right? A 6 to 8 week program you could hold, and people in the community who want more access and more speed and more direct help. So structured curriculum, so they're getting more one-to-one, well, closer support to you. And then the third tier can be the one-to-one coaching. So over $1,000 here, right? And these are people that want the fastest path and don't want to wait around for a cohort. So you're gonna have less people here, but the higher prices, low volume, but high prices. And the mistake to avoid is don't build all 3 at once. Launch the community first, right? It actually validates that people will pay you. You realize this, right? But also you'll get those results faster, so you can use them as testimonials for other people, right? And those are testimonials you can use for then your later higher ticket offers. So those results can become the batch for your next, sort of set of content. Now, how you actually sell it in a video, right? You don't want to come across too salesy. Talk about the transformation, right, that people are going to get, not the product. Tell people a step-by-step guide of what they'll get when they work for you, and give value throughout that video, right? Let the value do the selling for you, right? Actually be someone in your niche that gives the most value. The more you give away, the more you'll get back. And that's what people forget. And where most people fail with this is the lock-in. Now here's where people, so this is the thing that people don't want to hear, right? None of this works if you don't lock in for a long enough period of time, if you don't stay consistent. And locking in isn't just a mindset, it's a consistent, specific set of behaviors. And what this actually looks like is the days that you don't want to post, but you post anyways, right? You're checking your stats, you're checking your failures, what's not worked, and building on them, acting on them, fixing what you've found to fail, and working on those things, right? And posting as often every single day as you can. So you treat the first 3 months of this process as, like an unpaid internship when no one's watching, but you're posting anyways, right? And that's where most people quit, right? You expect linear results. It don't work like that, because people quit at that 6-week mark here because nothing's happening. But then they never get to that week 12 where everything suddenly starts to work and they start getting enough traffic to, a focus traffic of people that could buy, their ideal clients that are finding their videos to then join their communities or start paying them, right? So showing up is what matters, right? So here's the whole system again. You're going to post daily for 90 days, no excuses. And what this really looks like, right? It might not even be 90 days in a row. So this isn't just a 3-month thing, right? You might have day number 1, right, where you work for 2 or 3 hours a day. And that's the effort it takes. Remember, like that Indian cashier from the start, working 17 hours a day, right? The more you put into this, doing focus work is what matters, right? So imagine that guy, for example. Imagine those immigrants that come from that sort of background, right? And I use that word because, my ancestors were the same, right? But they were working as farmers and that sort of thing, right? But imagine applying that work ethic into something that's actually leveraged, into something like posting content and having an expert business to go with that. And what I mean by an expert business is where you have a coaching offer or info product on the back end, whether it's a course or coaching or whatever that might be, right? Because again, like I said at the start of the video, again, you're an expert, you have a skill, you must have achieved something in your life, right? And gone through the hardships and the trial and error of working it out to get to a specific outcome. And you could charge to help other people get to that same outcome as a shortcut without having to make the same mistakes you did. People will pay for the quick access to get to that goal, and you could give them all the tips and all the insights and hop on calls with them and charge them for that. And that's something that you're going to enjoy, right? You could pick whatever niche you want, right? Whatever you're passionate about, whatever you're skillful about, and you could pick something that you've never even done before, just learn that skill, master it, learn the ins and outs of it, and then start teaching it to other people, right? You might start for free before you start your paid community, and then start funneling people into there, right? You might start coaching people for free. So when you start your coaching business to make 10K a month, you can start with the unscalable first, right? You're not going to be able to do one-to-one calls with everyone for free forever, right? You can't do that all the time. But when you're starting off, you might want to. So you could use those as testimonials and proof for your future consultations and your future clients. So when you're doing this, you're going to start from day one, right? 2 or 3 hours a day. That's minimum, right? If you don't, if you can't do that, then don't expect the results. You've landed on the wrong video, essentially. On day 2, let's say you only put an hour in on day 2. That doesn't count. Next day, in your 3rd day really off this, but that would be your day 2. Let's say you put 2 or 3 hours in there. So you missed out on day 4. Day 5, you put 3 hours in. So in 5 days, you've only done 3 days of work, if you understand what I mean. Now you're going to do 90 days consistently, consecutively as well, or as close to consecutively as you can, where you're posting 2 or 3 hours a day, or you're making 2 or 3 hours a day of content, or it doesn't have to be just content making, but it typically would be at the start. Now, those 2 or 3 hours a day, we're focusing on doing work, doing the tasks that's actually leverage, the things that are actually going to put money into our bank accounts, that's actually going to either attract clients or convert clients or deliver. So it might be an hour of, a couple of hours a day on sales calls, selling to people to start off with, right? Or answering DMs, or whichever mode of selling you prefer, right? Or it might just be delivering content, delivering your sessions, right? Helping people out in that sense. So actually doing the work. It could be spending an hour on referrals or something like that. It could be just making content again, right? So the work that you're doing has to be meaningful. Again, we're going to apply that immigrant work ethic to something that's actually leverage, something that's actually going to work. Because imagine putting that effort into something that actually can make you money, right? And that's the key to making 10K a month online. You need to lock in consistently and put those hours in every single day to make the money that you want to be making. It's not going to come easy. Now, if you think about it, making 10K a month, what does it take if you go the traditional route, right? You'll study in uni for 3 or 4 years, or 5 years if you wanted to be a doctor or something like that. And then your training years, and then you walk up the corporate ladder, you work your way up, you get more experience, you kiss ass a little bit and that sort of thing, right? And realistically, it might take 10 years to get to that point where you're making 10K a month. Now, deep it. Do you think that's better than 2 or 3 hours every day for a couple of months, where realistically you might not get to that point, but you can get close to that point? Isn't that far much better? And you could do it on your own terms, right? And you could do it on a business, or you can run a one-person business teaching whatever you like, teaching a skill that you have that other people are willing to pay for to learn. Isn't that a beautiful business model? And you can do that. Now, what I want to do here with these videos is I want to start off and build a network of people and build a community of people that are like-minded, that have that knowledge, that have something that they can help people with, but don't know how to monetize it, right? So if you're an expert, well, you are an expert in something. Think about it. Think about a valuable outcome that you've achieved in your life. There must be something. Was there an exam that you aced, right? Did you go from failing that exam to passing it, right? Did you stop, fapping or something like that? Did you stop smoking? Have you broken addiction? Anything. Could be literally anything. Have you lost weight? Have you put muscle on? There's so much you could do. There's so many valuable outcomes out there. You must have achieved one. And if you haven't, if you feel like you've never done that before, then you can pick one and learn about it, and you could do that thing and learn the secrets behind it, and then show those secrets to other people through content, and make content giving the secrets away and then selling the implementation to a coaching program. Now, if you're someone that can do that, then I want to talk to you. I want to network with you. I want to talk and have conversations like this with you, where we can bounce ideas off. And if you're a few steps behind me, we can bounce ideas off each other, and I can kind of mentor you and that sort of thing, or give you advice or insights that I might be able to help you, you might be able to help me. And to be fair, my Instagram probably is on this video somewhere, or it'll definitely be in the link in the bio. But I want you to reach out. I want you to say hello. I want you to talk to me. Even if you comment on this video or whatever, I want to network with as many people as possible. And yeah, help as many people start an expert business. So if that's you, then shoot me a DM on Instagram. But what I want you to take away from this is that it is possible to get to your 10K a month just through posting content, right? And spending hours a day doing the task that actually is going to make you money, doing the things that actually matter, focusing on attracting clients, right? Attracting like your traffic, right? Getting as much traffic into your offer and then converting them all. They're really the two things that matter, getting traffic and converting that traffic. Now again, if you want my help or if you just want to reach out and network, I would love to see what you thought about this video. Any ideas you might have had, anything you would have added, just hit me up on Instagram. Yeah, that's it for today.